What is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Monday, September 5th slate of MLB and college football action. I'm super excited to dive into it, but before we did, I did just want to go ahead and say that we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So we are starting to inch towards that mark. We are less than 200 subscribers away. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. We are on the road to 7,000. If we do end up hitting that before the time that the NBA season does start, I will be doing a pretty big giveaway. So make sure that you guys are subbed if you guys are new. Also, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me. So much more than you guys will ever know. So, yeah, so I just wanted to apologize for no video as of yesterday. I was celebrating my best friend's birthday, so I was out of town for the day. So, you know, I just had no way of really making a video. So I do want to apologize about that, but I did still give out some plays on my community tab and on my Twitter. So make sure that you guys are checking on both of those. If I ever don't have a video, they will still be there. So without any further ado, we'll go ahead and do a quick recap. But before we did, just a quick word here from today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by PrizePicks. If you guys don't currently have a sports book that you do use, or if you do have one and you're just looking for something new, PrizePicks is a great way to get started. As you guys can see here on the screen, we are able to bet on pretty much every single sport that you can think of. We have MLB, we have the NFL, as of right now is the preseason, we have college football, we even have things like CSGO and some esports as well. And obviously, as you guys know, I'm a huge NBA guy, so once the NBA season does come around, you guys will be able to bet on player props from there as well. PrizePicks is very easy to use. I do love the no-run first innings, and that is something that you can go ahead and bet on here on PrizePicks as well. It's an absolutely fantastic app and website as well. So if you guys haven't already signed up for PrizePicks, make sure that you guys do that and use code KingSanders, and you can go ahead and get a deposit match bonus of up to $100. So the way that it does work is you go ahead and pick a couple here. So I'm just going to, for the sake of the video, say that the White Sox and the Orioles tomorrow are going to have a no-run first inning. The Toronto and Boston and the Cincinnati and Philadelphia are all going to have no-run first inning. Basically, what I would do, I would go ahead and click less for all of these and do what is called a power play, which is basically the same as a parlay. All three legs do have to hit in order for the bet to actually cash out. On the flip side of things, you can also do a flex play. The flex play basically means if you do get one of the legs wrong, that's perfectly fine. You can still win some money. So PrizePicks is a great way to be able to win some money using player props and things of that nature to be able to win some money. So you can put together a bunch of different legs to win out some pretty big money. So once again, make sure you guys do use code KingSanders for whenever you... No video yesterday? No problem. Doesn't matter to me. Boom, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are back here with the shades on, with the sunnies on, and if you guys are new and you guys don't know what that means, yes, that means we ended up sweeping yesterday. Unfortunately, we didn't have a video for it, you know, that's just the way that these things go, but we have been really profitable over our last 2 days, so hopefully we can keep this hot streak going. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and do a quick recap. We'll do a recap from the past 2 days. So, we did have the Giants money line versus Philadelphia at plus 105 odds. They were on a 7-game losing streak, and I knew that this seemed a little bit trappy. I knew that this was a spot where a lot of people were going to be taking Philadelphia. Giants ended up getting the win. It wasn't a huge win, but they ended up getting the win. Then we had the Yankees and the Rays, no-run first inning. Pretty sweat-free. Pretty sweat-free. Definitely nothing too crazy about that one. That was from 2 nights ago, so I was trying to remember exactly how it went. But then we had Boston College, minus 7.5 versus Rutgers. That game was absolutely tough because, you know, Boston College was up by 8 throughout most of the game and then ended up in the very last couple seconds of the game, like I think it was like 2.5 minutes left or something like that. Rutgers actually ended up scoring, and not only that, but they ended up winning the game too. So it was very tough for Boston College. So we ended up losing our first official college football play of the year, but we bounced back. And if you take a look at what I did as of yesterday, we ended up having Florida State plus 3.5. That one ended up working out. They won. It was a pretty close game. It was a really great game to watch. But Florida State ended up coming out with the W. Then we had Kansas City and Detroit, no run first inning. I think there was only one runner on base or something like that. It was a very low scoring game until like the fifth inning, I believe, something like that. Then Kansas City and Detroit both ended up scoring some. But then we did also have in the late night game, we did have San Diego and the Dodgers over 9.5. Well, the Dodgers scored 9 by themselves. So it was an absolute easy cash. Ended up going 3-0 on the day. Ended up getting a sweep. So hopefully we can do something very similar as of today. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's plays. So for our first play of the day, we're going to be taking the Mets run line minus 1.5 here versus Pittsburgh at minus 120 odds. This is the early game. It's at about 11:35 Central Standard Time. So if you guys are wanting to bet this one, you guys will have to get into it pretty early. But I do like this for a couple different reasons. Pittsburgh is coming off of a 3-4 loss versus the Blue Jays yesterday, and they are still plus 100 to cover this. And if you take a look at it, the Mets, they just ended up getting stomped twice in a row by Washington. So I feel like a lot of people are going to be on Pittsburgh in this one, especially for the run line, just because the Mets have had a very poor showing in the last 2 games. But I think this is a really good bounce back spot for them. The Mets, they are also 38-28 to the road run line. Definitely one of the best in the MLB. I think they're like 6th when it comes to the road run line, and they are 22-17 as a road favorite. So not necessarily as great as a road favorite, but they still are profitable, which is where I really like to see. Pittsburgh, they're 31-34 to the home run line just in general this year. So they're not even 500 when it comes to the home run line. So I think that we are just picking the better team in this one. If you look at the stats, Mets, they are 6th in runs per game. Pittsburgh is 28th. So Pittsburgh is close to last. Mets are just outside that top 5. And if you look at the runs allowed in their defense just in general, Mets are 5th when it comes to runs allowed. Pittsburgh's 27th. So we're looking at a top 5 defense and an almost top 5 offense versus a team that is 28th in runs per game and 27th in runs allowed. I'll definitely take my odds any day of the week. Then we have Taijuan Walker for the Mets on the mound with a 3.45 ERA over the course of the season, 3.29 on the road, so he is a little bit better on the road. And he's actually had a pretty rough showing over his last 5 starts, which I think is going to make a lot of people start to stray away from him too. But if you look at it, he has an earned run log of 3, 2, 0, 2, and 8. So that 8 really has hurt him so far. But if you look at the teams that he's played, he went against the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Braves, and the Reds. Now, I know the Reds aren't necessarily the greatest, but the Reds are still kind of a hot team here recently. So if you look at it, he's pitched against very, very good offenses. The Pittsburgh Pirates are definitely not what you would classify as a good offense. So hopefully Taijuan Walker can get it done here for us. And look at the flip side of the mound. Got Mitch Keller for Pittsburgh. I don't really trust him whatsoever. 4.43 ERA, 4.7 in his last 5, and a 4.81 at home. He's been really bad at home so far this year. Hopefully he can continue that trend as well. And when it comes to the bullpens, Pittsburgh is 27th in bullpen ERA, almost dead last in the entire MLB. The Mets, they are 11th. So just outside that top 10. I love our odds with this one. Hopefully we can go ahead and take advantage of it. So we're going to be riding with it. Mets minus 1.5 versus Pittsburgh at minus 120 odds. Now for our second play of the day, we're going to be taking the White Sox and the Mariners under 7.5 runs at minus 110 odds. Now I like this play a lot, and it's mostly just because if you're blindly betting this, a lot of people are going to be on the over. And let me just explain to you guys why I really like the under. So first things first, White Sox, they're 18th when it comes to runs per game. So definitely nothing too crazy, but they are even worse on the road. So they are in that lower tier when it comes to runs per game on the road. Seattle, they are 21st when it comes to runs per game. That number drops by 0.75 runs per game at home. So they are so much worse at home so far this year. So that's another reason why I love this bet. The White Sox are also 19th when it comes to runs allowed. So definitely kind of a poor offense as well. But that number in runs allowed drops by 1.4 runs per game on the road. They are a great defense on the road, and hopefully that does stand true once again today. Seattle is also fourth when it comes to runs per game, so they're really good, but surprisingly, they're even better at home. That number drops by 0.33 runs allowed per game at home so far this year. They're a great defense at home, definitely a great spot to target. And if you look at the pitchers, this is why I love this one. This is going to be a trap for the over, and that's why I'm taking the under, because Lance Lynn is going to be on the mound here for the Sox. Dude's been bad. There's no doubt about it. Dude's been bad. 4.70 ERA over the course of the season, a 5.59 on the road. He's been really bad, but surprisingly, he's been pretty good in his last 5 starts. He has a 2.64 ERA in his last 5 starts with an earned run log of 1, 1, 1, 2, and 4. He's actually been really solid in his last 5 starts, despite the 4. But regardless, those other 4, he's been really solid here for. And on the flip side of the mound, Marco Gonzalez, definitely not a great ERA, 3.99, but that number drops even more on the road, just 3.46 ERA at home so far this year, with an earned run log in his last 3 starts of 3, 1, and 1. So I do think that these starting pitchers can get it done here for us. And if you look at the bullpens, Seattle is 8th in bullpen ERA, so they are in the top 10. Now the White Sox I do worry about. They are 21st, but Seattle is so much worse of an offense at home. So hopefully we can go ahead and get it done here for us. That's going to be our second play of the day. White Sox and the Mariners under 7.5 runs at -110 odds. Now we have one game on in college football, and so we're obviously going to take a shot in the dark here. But we're going with Georgia Tech plus 23.5 here versus Clemson at -110 odds. Now I know Clemson is a fantastic a fantastic team just in general. I got it, but this is a lot of points, and I think that there's something fishy going on. Let me explain. First things first, the over/under is set at 51. So unless if they expect that Georgia Tech is not going to score a single touchdown, it's going to be very tough to be able to hit this over, just in general. Secondly, the spread has moved from 19 to 23.5 because there is so much money on Clemson. Clemson has 84% of the money right now, and I think that that's going to be a great spot for Georgia Tech to get a backdoor cover. For the first half, I don't mind Clemson I think it's like -12 or something. I don't mind Clemson -12 in the first half. But I do think Georgia Tech ends up getting a backdoor cover. And if you look at it, in their last 5 matchups, Clemson is only 3-2 against the spread versus Georgia Tech in their last 5 matchups. And last year, the score at the end of the game was 14-8. Definitely a very low-scoring game. Could we see something that's very similar? I'm not sure, but I'm going to be taking it for sure. So let's go ahead and make our college football record positive. Let's go 2-1 in our plays. So that is going to be our third and final play of the day. Georgia Tech plus 23.5 versus Clemson at -110 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Sander signing out. Peace.